welcome back to another episode of Ew with Nikki. I'm Nikki. I'm really excited to be filming this video, a little update from, not my last one because that was a vlog, but from my major life update from before. Made a lot of progress, thankfully. So I just wanted to make a video and update all of you. So before we get into everything, interviewing, finding a job, all of that stuff, just I'm gonna chat a little bit. My face is breaking out so badly and you can't really see it because they don't have heads, they're just cysts like all through here. My nose is so red, there's like little tiny pimples like all here. I don't know where this came from. I have eaten a lot more sugar this week than usual, but my skin doesn't normally flare up with my diet. So unclear. I washed all my pillowcases and I washed them last week, but just washed my pillowcases, my towel, my face towel, and hopefully this goes away soon because what the heck. If my hair looks white, I tried to get out the dry shampoo as best as I could. I went down to the little market at the first floor of my building because I am gonna bake cookies later and I was missing an ingredient. And tell me why every single time I go into that market, even if it's for a second, I come out and everything, my clothes, my hair, I just smell like fried Cuban food. I don't know what it is. I literally went in, got the raspberries and paid, which by the way, $7 for raspberries. I could have gone to Publix and they would have been like $4, but my lazy ass didn't feel like walking over there, so I just went downstairs and paid $7 whole for a little pack of raspberries, sorry. And then they asked me if I wanted to tip. Like, no, not for these upcharged raspberries. But anyway, my hair smells like fried market food. I sprayed it with dry shampoo and that is that. So in my last video, I told you guys that I got my dream job as a nurse practitioner, flew to Switzerland to train, started working, and lost my job within like 3 months of all of that. So if you didn't watch that video, definitely go back and watch it because it's a great little crazy story that I can just think back on now and I'm like, what the f? But when it was actually happening, it was horrible. But thankfully, and you know, I said it in my last video, I firmly believe that everything happens for a reason and that everything was gonna work out, and I got a new job. I'll tell you guys a little bit about my new job in a bit, but first I want to talk about interviewing for NP roles, applying and interviewing for that matter. I've always considered myself a decent to good interviewer. I think I've gotten, knock on wood, thankfully, every job. I think there was one RN job that I interviewed for that I didn't get, but I was also in school and I told them our hours wouldn't have worked. At least that's what I'm telling myself. But I don't really get overly nervous for interviews, especially nowadays. You know, a lot of the first interviews are via Zoom, which I think helps with nerves a little bit. Anyway, sorry, I lost my train of thought. When I initially lost my job, got laid off, I that day got home and started applying for jobs, searching for job openings, seeing what I could apply to. I was in a frantic state of desperation and I was applying to everything and anything. I just counted now because I made a little sticky note on my computer and I was writing down the date and each job that I applied to, and if they would get back to me, I'd mark down, oh, emailed me for interview, denied, all of that. I applied within the span of like a month, 5 weeks, to 25 jobs. Of those 25 jobs, I got called to interview for 5 jobs. I got interviewed. So of the 25 jobs that I applied to, they either denied me straight off the bat or just never answered me. One of those interviews I ended up not doing because it was pretty recently that they got back to me, and I had already accepted a job, so I let them know that unfortunately like I wasn't interested anymore. And I want to talk a little bit about these, like it's a coincidence, the jobs that got back to me for interviews. So I'm a firm believer in, like, yes, apply to all the jobs online, like go to the hospital career pages, Indeed, LinkedIn, all the things. But if you really want a job, you have to borderline harass. Of those 5 interviews, 1, 2, 3 of them, I got interviews because I emailed the office directly and they set up, thank you for your interest, yes, let's set up an interview. Only one called me back from a careers page at a hospital system that I applied to, and they reached out, we set up interviews. I later ended up getting a job offer from them. And then one of them, a professor from actually randomly recommended me to these people, and they reached out to me. They reached out to me when I first started my last job. I told them, thank you so much, I just started a new role, let's stay in touch in case, you know, any opportunities arise in the future. They were like, definitely, for sure. So I reached back out to them at this time when I lost my job, and they're like, yeah, let's set up an interview. This is why it's so important to make a good impression during your NP school clinicals, with both your clinical instructors and your preceptors. One of my professors recommended me for and gave them my contact info, and they reached out to me. So that says a lot. Like, don't just go to your clinicals, even if it's something that you're not interested in. I think the one that this clinical instructor, like my professor was my instructor for, was like employee health. Nothing crazy. Loves my preceptor though. But even if it's something that you're not uberly interested in, do your best and make a good impression and act like it's your dream job, because those things will come back and they'll help you when, you know, you're looking for a job in a few months when you graduate. I also had another preceptor call me when she heard everything, and you know, she was like, let me know if I can do anything for you. Oh my god, I haven't talked to this preceptor in over a year, and she heard what happened and called me on the phone to, you know, express her condolences, asked me if there's anything that she could do to help me. She was sending me like doctors that she knows that she's worked with that were now hiring nurse practitioners. So just keep that in mind when you're at your shitty clinical site. It doesn't matter. Smile, show up, don't be late, don't leave early, unless they're like saying please leave early, and it's okay. You'll get the vibes when it's okay to leave early and when it's not. But make a good impression, because it'll help you in the future. Another place that I interviewed at, I had seen a job posting for them originally way back when, like October, November 2023, when I was first looking for NP jobs. And I went back to their website and Indeed, LinkedIn to see if they were still hiring nurse practitioners, and they weren't. But I, you know, took a shot and I emailed them and I said, hi, I'm looking for a new role as a nurse practitioner. I don't know if you're hiring. If you are, here's my resume. I'd love to meet with you guys, whatever. And they got back to me right away to set up an interview, which was awesome. And then I did that with another place too, and they emailed me like, can we set up an interview? Let's do it. And then I said yes, of course. And then they never got back to me, which was kind of weird. I even followed up a couple days later. I was like, hi, I don't know if you got my last email, but yeah, let's set up an interview. And they never answered me, so that was weird. And then my current job that we'll talk about in a little bit, same thing. I was so desperate. I was posting on Facebook groups, hi, is anyone hiring a nurse practitioner? Does anyone know of a practice hiring nurse practitioners? Are you a doctor? Do you want a nurse practitioner to work with you? And someone commented on that post, on my post on the Facebook group, hey, I think I saw this doctor posting that he's looking for someone. So I, you know, at this point I was so desperate. I Instagram messaged this doctor. I'm like, hey, I'm a nurse practitioner. Someone told me that you might be looking for a new NP for your practice. If so, let me know, I can send you my resume. He replied right away, yeah, are you comfortable treating XYZ? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, hey, send your resume to this person. sent my resume, they coordinated an interview for me, and I got that interview. So all that to say is, yes, do the traditional thing of applying on their websites and filling out a formal application for, you know, the job that you're interested in, especially if it's something that you really want to do. But don't be afraid to, I guess, modern day cold call. Definitely call offices if the email method doesn't work, but email the heck out of these places. Like some place, I emailed a bunch of other places and they didn't answer me, but the majority of the places that I ended up interviewing with was because I reached out to them personally and said, here's my resume, here's my cover letter, I'm interested in working for you, let's set up an interview at your earliest convenience. So do not be afraid to do that, especially in big cities. I'm sure the job market is like this in, you know, New York, Chicago, LA, other big cities, but definitely Miami, do not be afraid to put yourself out there and just like straight up email these people, because sometimes these offices, especially if it's a little bit smaller of an office, they're just so busy that they want a nurse practitioner or a PA, whatever it is, but they don't post on Indeed or LinkedIn because they're busy and they haven't gotten around to it. This like hair is driving me crazy. So let's talk about my new job. I thank you, by the way, to everyone who's like got back to me or like messaged me on Instagram when I posted my like back to work scrub mirror selfie pic. You guys are so nice. Thank you for your kind words. I'm so grateful and so excited to be working again. It was a little over a month of unemployment, and we'll get into that after, but it was not fun. So my new job, I am working at a wellness and aesthetics center here near my apartment, which is really nice. You know, that wasn't going to be a deal breaker for a lot of these jobs, but it's a plus to work close to where you live, and I minimize your commute as much as you can. Wellness and aesthetics, fancy way of saying I'm going to be doing primary care. My supervising physician does aesthetics, and he wanted a provider to take over the primary care clients, so that's what I'll be doing. I'm really excited. I think I'm gonna learn a lot. I started this week, and I think I'm catching on pretty quickly. The office is so nice, and I mean, I don't have much else to say about it other than I'm really grateful and I'm happy to be doing it. And here's your reminder to book an appointment for your annual physical, because I know a lot of you guys probably haven't gotten blood work done in a long time and seen a provider. So get your physical, get your blood work. You can book with me if you want to see me. I'm on ZocDoc, so just find me on ZocDoc, book an appointment, and we can get you on the right track to your health. I guess I should elaborate a little bit on how I got this job. This was one of them. I think I mentioned it before. This was one of the interviews I had that I Instagram messaged the doctor. I said, hey, it was so casual. I was like, are you looking for an NP? I'm interested. Where can I send my resume? I was just 25 job applications, guys, maybe more if I deleted some. Oh, those are NP job applications, because I applied to maybe 10 or 15 RN jobs as well, because I'm like, if I can't find an NP job, I'm gonna have to work as an RN. But it turns out I'm overqualified to be a registered nurse, and no one wanted to hire me, so that's that. But yeah, so I Instagram messaged this doctor, got in contact with the office manager, and it went in for an interview. I mean, very chill. I clicked with him and the office manager right away. And, a week or so later, I want to say, they got back to me with an offer. I countered and we came to an agreement, and that was that. And I started this week. Okay, last thing I want to touch on before we go, I feel like I've been rambling a lot. When I wasn't working, the first, 2 weeks, it was great. I, days off, I was resting, sleeping in, going to the pool, going to the gym, finishing my Pilates package that I had, and it was fun. It was like a nice little spring break, winter break. After 2, maybe 3 weeks, guys, I was borderline depressed. I've never suffered, thankfully, from depression, and I don't think I was actually depressed. I think it was just a little what the heck is going on in my life right now. But I felt like I had no purpose. I had absolutely nothing to do for days on end. It was never ending. I had no money to like, oh, I can just go, you know, do these workout classes, shopping, this, that. Like, no, I had to save every single cent that I had because I didn't know what my next paycheck was gonna be. So it was just weeks of feeling like I had no purpose. I didn't want to cook. I didn't even want to, I had nothing to do, and I still didn't want to go down one floor and exercise because I just didn't feel like it. It wasn't even like a laziness thing. It was like a mental thing. Like I would force myself to go, but I would make it down to the gym at like 3 p.m. after having nothing to do the whole day. It wasn't fun, and I always joke like, oh, I want to be a stay-at-home girlfriend, mom, wife, all the things. I guess that's fine if you have income coming from somewhere, or if you have kids to take care of, because that in and of itself is a full-time job. I just had literally nothing to do. I don't watch TV. I watch so much TV. It was not for me. It was not fun. I was miserable. Going back to say, I'm so excited to be working again and to waking up in the morning, getting ready, going to work, getting home at 5, going to the gym at that time. Like, I don't care. I'm so grateful to have a job and like feel again like I have like purpose and something to contribute to society. Most of the questions I got, I did a little Q&A box on my Instagram story, which is at Ew by Nikki. Most of the questions were just, did I get a new job? Where are you working now? Of that ilk. I think I answered all of that here. But yeah, just moral of the video, of the story, do not be afraid to put yourself out there. Reach out to the offices, call, I don't know if call the recruiters, because I did sign up for some nurse recruiting companies, and I am on the verge of throwing my phone against the wall all day because I get calls nonstop. If I want to go do a 6-month nurse practitioner job in North Dakota. No, I don't want to do that, but thank you. But reach out to the offices, send the email. If they're not answering your emails and it's something you think you're really interested in, call them and ask. Like, just call offices in areas that you want to work in and say, hi, I'm a nurse practitioner, I'm a physician's assistant, is the practice hiring right now? I'd love to send over my resume. Sometimes they'll be like, no, send us your resume anyway, and they'll get back to you. And if they just say no, sorry, then okay, that's it, you call the next office. But relying solely on online job applications is just, unfortunately, not gonna cut it, at least in my experience. But that's it. I hope I answered everyone's questions, and thank you again for all the kind words that you guys have been sending me, and hopefully I have more updates soon to come. I'm very happy in my new role, and yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.